Hi, today we are going to be using context clues to figure out our vocabulary words from the book Fancy Nancy Bonjour Butterfly. Before we begin, we're going to be reviewing what context clues are. Does anyone remember what the definition of context clues are? Context clues are hints that an author gives to help define a difficult or unusual word. This clue may appear within the same sentence as a word to which it refers, or it may be in the following sentences. So let's use context clues to figure out what the word envious means. Here's the sentence. Pete was envious of his brother's cool new bicycle. What do you think the word envious means? Let's use the context clues. When you see someone has a cool new bicycle, what are you? Are you jealous of them? Are you tired of them? Are you sad for them? Let's fill it in. Pete was sad of his brother's cool new bicycle. That doesn't make sense. Pete was jealous of his brother's cool new bicycle. That makes sense. So we use the context clues to figure out what this new word means. So that's what we're going to be doing in the story today. We're going to have 5 vocabulary words, and we're going to fill in word maps. We're going to be using word maps to filling in word maps for the vocabulary words. We're going to use the context clues to help us figure out what these words mean. Here are our vocabulary words for this book. Exquisite, iridescent, extraordinary, scowl, and expert. Now, while I'm reading the story, I want you to listen for these vocabulary words and see if you can figure out what they mean just by listening to the story and what I'm reading. So here's the vocabulary words. Okay. Now here's the book. Fancy Nancy Bonjour Butterfly. Don't you think butterflies are exquisite? Exquisite is even fancier than beautiful. There's our first vocabulary word. Whenever my friend Bree and I see one, we say bonjour. That's French for hello. Do butterflies understand French? My dad asks. Maybe, I tell him. Bree's birthday party is soon. Everything will look like butterflies, even the cake. I show her how to turn the bees into butterflies on her invitations. You're so lucky your name begins with a B, I tell her. RSVP is short for Réponse de s'il vous plaît. That's French for please reply. I'm going as an azure butterfly. My wings are bright blue and, what's that fancy word for shiny? Oh yes, iridescent. So she's saying that her wings are iridescent. Bree's party is this Saturday. I can't wait. Oh no, cries my mom. I totally forgot. Then she tells me I can't go. My grandparents' anniversary party is the same day. How do you think she's going to react to this news? Let's see. Mom says, Bree's birthday is special, but being married for 50 years, that's exceptional. That's extraordinary. If my mother thinks using fancy words will make me feel better, she's wrong. When I tell Bree I can't come, she is heartbroken. For the next 2 days, I scowl and sulk and storm around the house. Mad is way too plain for how I feel. I am furious. On the train, the only person I talk to is Maribel. We mostly speak in French. I perk up a little at the station. My grandparents are so thrilled to see me. Grandpa says, it wouldn't be a party without our glamorous granddaughter. I must say the City Squire Motel is quite elegant. That's a fancy word for fancy. I curtsy to everyone. There is a candy machine in the hall and an automatic ice dispenser. In the bathroom are little bottles of bath gel and shampoo and cream. Ooh la la, it's like being at a spa. At the party, I have so much fun, I forget to be furious. Grandpa teaches me the cha-cha. Waiters bring out tiny hot dogs on silver platters. Mmm, delicious, darling, I tell my sister. You must try one. Later, I whisper, I am sorry for the way I behaved. I'm ecstatic to be here. It really is an extraordinary night. The next morning, my mother wakes me up. Grandma says the zoo here has a butterfly garden. Do you want to go? Oi, oi, oi. That's French for yes, yes, yes. My grandparents meet us at the zoo. Those are monarch butterflies on your tie, I tell Grandpa. My, you know a lot about butterflies, he says. Yes, I admit I am practically an expert. The butterfly garden is gorgeous. Gorgeous is also fancier than beautiful. I can't wait to tell Bree about it. Suddenly, a little blue butterfly flits toward me. An azure butterfly. All butterflies are special, but this one is extraordinary. Bonjour, I say. You know what? I'm nearly positive butterflies understand French. Did anyone hear our vocabulary words while we were reading the book? Okay, so I'm going to be passing out. Everyone is going to get 5 word maps. We are going to do a word map for each vocabulary word. So our very first one I have done for us, and we're going to copy it down off the smartboard, and I'm going to go over it while we do. So our first word is exquisite, and I want everyone to write the vocabulary word in red markers so it really stands out. Exquisite. And we're going to write everything else in black markers, and I seem to have lost my black marker. But, oh well. So what was the sentence from the text that had the word exquisite in it? So let's turn in our book and find the word exquisite. I think it was on the very first page. Here it is. Don't you think butterflies are exquisite? Exquisite is even fancier than beautiful. So it tells us right there what the word exquisite means. It means beautiful. So for the synonym, which is the same thing as exquisite, it's just a different word. We're going to write beautiful. What's the opposite of beautiful? Ugly. So that would be the antonym. So we're going to write it right there. For the definition, we're going to look up in a dictionary and find the definition. So I will be introducing for the first time looking up in a dictionary. So I will be showing this. I'll get out a dictionary. I don't have one, but I'll get out a dictionary and I'll have it shown on the board so they can all see what I'm doing. And I'll look up the word exquisite. And the textbook or the dictionary definition is extremely beautiful and typically delicate. So we will fill that in. And then we will have already wrote, I meant to say that, don't you think butterflies are exquisite? Exquisite is even fancier than beautiful. And we will have wrote that right here where it says sentence from the text. And then we're going to be making up our very own sentence for exquisite. And my sentence I came up with is, a diamond is very exquisite. So for my picture, I drew a diamond. And since I'm not a very good artist, I wrote beside it what it was so I would know what this was. You can't really tell. Okay, so now we're going to be going over expert. And we're going to be doing this one together. So we're going to write the word expert on our word map, and we are going to look up in the book when she used the word expert and see if we can use our context clues to figure out what that means. Here it is. They're talking about butterflies when they're in the butterfly garden. And Grandpa says to her, "My, you know a lot about butterflies," he says. "Yes, I admit I'm practically an expert." So, using the context clues, what would you think the word expert means? He says, "You know a lot about butterflies." So, an expert is probably a person that knows a lot about something. So, let's look it up in the dictionary, and find what the definition of it is. An expert is a person who has a comprehensive and authoritative knowledge of or skill in a particular area. The synonyms for this would be a specialist, an authority. So where we write the synonym, you can choose which synonym you want to use, and I would do this because I think it would be easier for them to remember if they choose which one stands out to them. So specialist stood out for me, so that's the word I would have wrote here. And antonym, what is the opposite of being an expert? What is the opposite of knowing a lot about something and just being really good at something? A beginner. So that's what we would write for the antonym. The antonym of expert is beginner. You're just starting out, it's a fresh, and so you really don't know anything about it. So right now we are beginners and using our dictionaries. And we are going to be writing the sentence on our word map from the book. So we will write, "My, you know a lot about butterflies," he says. "Yes, I admit I'm practically an expert." We will write that right here. And we will write the page number, which these books do not have page numbers, so we're just going to skip this. But we're going to come up with our own sentence for expert. So can anyone think of someone who would be an expert of something? What I thought of was a pediatrician. Does anyone know what a pediatrician is? That's a doctor for children. So I said a pediatrician is an expert for caring for sick children. So they would be an expert. They would be very skilled, or hopefully would be very skilled at caring for sick children. They would know what to do. They would not be a beginner at that. So for the next 3 words, I want you to get into groups, and you will be going over the words and doing them together, figuring out, using the context clues, and figuring out what these words mean. And then when they're done doing that, then we will come back into our normal seats, and we will go over them again together. And I will use the dictionary and show them the dictionary definition. But for them 3 words, I want them to use the context clues from the books. And I will have enough books to pass out for 1 book for every group, so they can look through it and find the word themselves and use the context clues and try to figure out. And then I will look in the definition and the dictionary, and we'll fill out the word map like I've been doing. Okay, so next I will ask questions about the vocabulary words from the books. So after we go over the last 3 vocabulary words, then we will get together and I will ask questions, and I will look for just an oral response kind of for the closure. What was Fancy Nancy calling exquisite? Does anyone remember what she was calling exquisite? The butterflies. Why do you think she called them exquisite? Because she thought they were beautiful. What other word could she have used to describe the wings? She used the word iridescent. So what other word would mean, what's the definition? Would mean showing luminous colors that seem to change when seen from different angles. So what would be iridescent? Would shine out or stand out and be shiny. So they could call out the word dazzling, sparkling, shining, glittering. So look for responses. Basically, just